All right, so Wendy, first order of business is to approve the attachments from the February 15th, 2023 meeting. Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. All right, we'll move right on to item C, which is website updates.
I didn't have too many updates. I kept our picture here for now, and then I did work on, I know we discussed sort of the carousel
Yep.
images.
Yep.
So I added what we had from last time around,
Okay.
and I can obviously update these with the new
The
pictures
newest ones
that
that
we've
we're gonna
got.
take a look at.
So folks can kind of click through the ones that I had from last month.
Yeah.
For now.
You could provide, yeah, so I'd say the photo, and Ira was looking for some photos as well for the April newsletter.
Yeah.
We'll share. You know, and actually Russ, Chris, I guess they have a message board.
Yeah.
So, George sent some photos as well, but we can create like a photo group instead of like sending some to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that everybody can pull from whatever they
Yeah,
want to
do
use.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I do it almost on a, you know, weekly or bi-weekly basis. Things don't change that dramatically week to week, but on a bi-weekly or monthly basis.
Yeah, I think that's sufficient. So I don't think we need any more than that. It's gonna be,
Yeah, the newsletter, I think we should have one in.
Yeah.
You know, we want to do that view that we always have on top. It's looking it's over here looking towards, what's that, looking east. We're gonna,
right towards the front door, like as
Yeah,
if
that-
you're walking.
yeah, because Ken can give here's what it looks like construction, and then you can get one on the side.
Yeah.
So you can give me two shots that are, one is the whole long one is where they, you know, the entrance. So it's on this side over here where the tennis courts are, that's
So we want one shot, look from our trailer, looking
Right.
at the building
and the other one looking straight on from this side.
from the school.
Right.
900.
Because we have two renderings, so then we can use
From
those.
both building perspectives,
Right.
yeah. Are the ones we use the most.
Yeah, those are the ones that people familiar with, so.
Yeah. That's great, but then I think
Okay.
hopefully people are looking at it. I don't.
Are you
One
tracking
newsletter.
usage and all?
I can pull up the numbers.
Yeah.
You want to take care of that?
Yeah, but if you got.
You
sent
just
it,
set
it
it
would-
down, what
then-
what you're looking at.
And maybe once the newsletter goes out, we might try some people.
Yeah.
to take a look. Although you can see quite a bit now, so just
Right.
when you drive up here.
Because the people.
I haven't been here for a while. so
I know,
when
it's
drove up
amazing.
today, it's the last thing, I was like, oh my god. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time, move in.
I know, we're done.
You're good. Thanks.
And I think our message on the homepage still applies for where we're at.
Yes,
currently.
yeah, or it's not.
So is this the last month?
This is, the last from February 14th to,
It's not bad.
so we got 16 visits today. 28 a couple days ago. So we peaked February 16th.
Getting any feedback, anyone sending any emails, right?
We got one email which will, it's included in the agenda for the next meeting. But it was about the construction trucks. I guess one was going up, not the designated, construction parking lane. And I know Kat sent a response and worked with,
Yeah, we addressed that.
right. So that was, really the only
Let that be the worst.
communication we received about the project in the last month or so.
That's, so maybe like a parent or a drop off or something.
There's a story behind it, but it was, the long and short of it is, there's always gonna be some cross traffic, either at the end of our construction entrance,
Yeah.
down by the town hall entrance.
Yep.
Or at the top, so during the student parent drop off, there's always a police officer, stationed at that top of the hill. And that's actually the safest point to actually cross traffic, so we have a stop sign on the construction side. And they have to stop, and when we went to see George, our superintendent, went with Officer Murphy to check the videotape, because it was all recorded on camera. It was a pickup truck, there was no incident. The parent that was having a bad day,
Okay.
and maybe a horn was honked. And but it wasn't an incident, and, Officer Murphy was there.
Okay,
And, so that was, but if you have it at the top of the hill, that's actually the safest point to have the cross traffic. Then at the bottom where you don't have anybody stationed down there,
yeah.
but they are using the construction entrance. I use it myself. When there's a snowstorm and school's out of session, you know, that
Oh, yeah,
until they actually plow it, they haven't been using it.
all right, well, as long as there was no safety issue, then.
Right.
Yeah.
We even responded to, the gentleman called Con OSHA, called everybody, and we responded, and they replied back to me.
All right, good.
Other than that, it's been pretty quiet. Haven't heard too much feedback from anyone, so.
Okay. All right, well, we'll keep.
Yeah,
Obviously address
and-
things as they arise.
6 months, we've had that construction entrance and no issues, and even the police department has said that it's actually improved the safety and the queuing of the cars, so.
Okay,
But if we have to post more signage.
Yeah.
We'll order more and we'll either put a flashing, like. Those flashing cones if we need to, but I don't think at this point from seeing the videotape.
all right. And the amount of traffic that's going through there at any point in time, right? I guess we'll just have to monitor.
Yep.
All
But
right,
we did discuss it at our OAC meeting, with the project team, and we'll make adjustments as needed.
okay. All right. Well, we're getting, I mean, at least some traffic continually, which is nice to know that people are at least going out to take a look.
Was the 16th any day that you posted, was that an event?
I think it was the day after our last building committee, so I think our chair report went out and people probably clicked from the chair report.
That's good to know, that that's something of value to people that they look for the update.
But yeah, that was pretty much the only updates to the website.
I don't think there's anything else we need to, other than updating the pictures, and then, you know, I'm sure you'll let us know once that. The summary.
Right.
Is something we need to update, I think.
Right.
But I think this is more than important now. Recommendations. All right, so why don't we go on to item D, content for the upcoming newsletter.
That's what we sent out. Yeah, you got the one from the town.
Oh, this is the district.
This is different, so this is what the update, this went out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we should have, we run.
So that's kind of a statement.
Those renderings for the pictures. Nice. I missed this. Yeah. We got it in our mailbox.
Okay, so if you got
My
this,
husband is sorted out, right?
here you got it. You need some extra one. You didn't get yours one? Come
I don't
on.
remember seeing this. I might have-
It's gonna give you a quiz after.
You have an extra copy.
Yeah.
Well, I wrote down based on, the last newsletter we did was all about the second referendum.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this one's gonna be kind of a light and easy one, so whatever photos you have, look to the rendering, so we'll just, because we're gonna have a lot of space for, this will be kind of a picture kind of one.
Yeah.
A
Let's,
statement from you, Meg.
Yep.
In other words, you can work off of this one here, I can make it beef it up a little bit.
from our last.
Okay, you need an extra
No,
copy?
I've got that.
Okay, and so you can do that. I think a Q&A, just kind of a timeline where things are. Just the update, I can't think of anything in a Q&A other than 2 or 3 questions. Are we on schedule? Is the budget still on schedule? What's the next phase after the steel construction comes up? And just kind of emphasize kind of the timeline again. We have space, let people know. Of course, we'll list the meeting dates and all the other stuff. That's always on the back page. So I'm looking at this, if we can get a bunch of photos and kind of relate the renderings and the plan to what, so people can visualize a little bit more what the space is going to look like.
What,
Maybe give it to those guys. If they want. Mark. What else you could think of?
What-
Like,
well, I'm just thinking, just so I know, so from a timing perspective, what do you want?
well, it depends on the topping off of it.
Yeah, maybe we
This
can
should go
do all
out,
that.
get in the house at least a week before. So if you're gonna invite the public,
Yeah.
people come, I don't know if we're gonna do it during the day or after, or when people on a weekend. Depends if you want a lot of folks or, because I don't think people are gonna take off from work unless they're working at home.
Right.
That could come,
No, yeah, I think that's something we gotta talk about today for a couple of reasons. You know,
We originally talked about a Saturday.
Yeah.
We did talk about it being a Saturday.
we talked about Saturday.
Yeah.
So it'd be an article about the topping off.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, so it'd be a big invite, kind of, I'll make an invite looking thing. Now, we did talk about also of gathering or getting people's signature. We talked about a time capsule and the building's done.
Yeah.
Do we want to do anything about that? Or that's something we're just gonna do later on when we're, we're still interested in the time capsule or established. When they put a cornerstone in and behind the cornerstone, usually can be something or a time capsule.
It would have to be inside. the
And then-
cornerstone. It's already with the precast and the masonry already.
Hmm.
It would have to be a time capsule inside the building.
Okay.
We can't do a corners. At this.
So we could plant one outside the yard, I guess. Usually near the flag, is there gonna be a flagpole outside?
There is a flagpole, but I would highly recommend that it be inside the building because it's away from the elements. Just with a flagpole,
All
you
right,
can always have water infiltration
all right. It's-
underneath the stage. That works well. There's always a nice little cavity.
I thought this is kind of like a PR thing,
Yeah.
right, where ask people to submit things in writing, what they would like to see in the time capsule. And then we can select what we think would be appropriate. Maybe families that lived here for generations, they want to give a memento of school was 1928, high school was built. We can stick a photo, I mean, I've collected some stuff already. I have some books and photos I just have, but the people have, they save their report card from 1950, this is like, one of those positive,
Oh,
we
yeah.
want the community involved.
So would they normally do that in conjunction with the ribbon cutting, grand opening
Yeah.
kind of thing normally, or is it usually?
We've
separate?
done it where it's almost towards the latter part of construction, but we can make the space and make the panel
Okay.
accessible and then do it with the ribbon.
That's what I'm like. all-
Yeah. I think we have that, and we can then have a website, here's what's gonna be in the time capsule. And I think the idea of submitting it and have people, I have this I dug out. If not, then they have it and give it to the historical society. So involve both groups. Or you can ask the historical society, do they have an extra thing? This is, and this owns up in community engagement.
Yeah.
Less about that. It's about the high school, but people who lived and went through multi-generations here. Or even, people who are just new to the community. They want to put something in.
That, but we're not gonna mention that in this newsletter,
No,
we'll wait
no.
and do that later.
I think this is gonna be, when you're doing a final thing, Meg, that'll be the final
Yeah.
newsletter. Invite a history, that one will be a larger souvenir piece.
Okay.
This is where you thank everybody, you put all the names that you wanna do, all the, the amount of time Meg put into this kind of thing.
That, Russ, for you or Nelson, is there anything in the newsletter that you think, like, from the district's perspective that you want us to highlight? Or Nelson, like, from the overall, anything for us to get out to the community that's a reminder of something?
I think once it gets rolling, like the educational component that we've been working on, I think that'll start like incrementally this month, actually. Although the weather, we just pushed our first real visit with students back to next week, but so I think once that gets up and rolling, I think that's something that we would want to, the community, I think with that connection, that partnership that we have, it's just not like they're building over there and we have nothing, we're using it and they're open to really giving us a lot of access into like their operations and
Yep.
And really building up that as a learning experience for our students that will be really worthwhile. So I think that partnership is really worth
Do
putting
you
out there.
think now, or you want to, you think it's better to give them, have some pictures and stuff?
I
in
think
the
we're gonna
next
get some
one?
great pictures too. I would say like we can build up to that.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, so maybe schedule it for the following newsletter.
newsletter.
Yeah, it sounds like steel structures up in the buildings going on. You remember the poster one you do? Might be a look at that, because we broke all the rooms out.
Yeah.
What's going in it, so we can revisit, bring those renderings again. It's-
I think
here-
what Russ was talking about is the
The ONG
program
bills.
between
ONG
ONG and the school.
Oh, okay,
Or to highlight, which I think would actually be a really nice highlight in our newsletter. of how
Okay,
we're
okay, I'm sorry.
engaging. No, that's all right.
I was trying to, what's just doing here is what's gonna go in, reminding people. what's
Yeah, of
inside the
that
building
piece as
again.
well. But I think that there's specific.
I get it,
would be
I get
something.
it, okay,
April's
sorry.
newsletter. We could update the summer milestones, because there is gonna be substantial work on that T.
Okay.
We could
All right, so that's what I'm trying,
We're
to is there
in
anything
right
specific to
now.
the site right now, or anything you want us to take an opportunity to get out to the whole community?
Maybe you could put in as part of the Q and A, Meg, is after topping off what's over the next 6 months, what kind of construction is gonna go on.
Yeah.
What's, it's, what are they doing, so at least, all right, what you're down with all the steel construction. What's gonna go over the next, because then we can time it to these newsletters.
Yeah.
Because they're going out every.
Summer
6 months.
logistics is kind of.
Well, the work on T over the summer is gonna.
So, let's say,
Library, town hall.
Yeah, everybody.
So we can report on that, but we don't have everything now. Right. Yes.
So again, maybe it's
Because
like if we're looking at one, maybe, so this one's April,
you're doing one
we do
before
it,
the summer.
do it in the fall time.
yeah, we probably wait till fall, so. I mean, we can use in other
You
ways.
could put some time on it.
I mean, you guys think you need another one,
a
man.
broad stroke of, over the summer, during the summer months is when the construction company has an opportunity to do utility work. It doesn't.
I'm just thinking it might,
Some-
we can build it, not as like a standalone message, but build it in, I just want to make sure we mention stuff.
Something,
We should mention it because it will impact the community
Yeah,
as a whole. Whoever comes to the campus to pay taxes,
Yeah.
town hall.
Okay.
The library. And actually, the high school has summer camps over here.
So, what you're seeing there, maybe that. So when this comes out from what's gonna happen from May till the end of the year, basically. That-
Yeah, to our best,
Yeah, it's gonna, it's gonna be going on from, here's the work for the next 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could be part of the Q and A, okay, which we're gonna show them as this is done and topping off, here's what, so you chunk it in 6 months.
Yeah.
Because we can't say 2 years out, here's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
can put the timeline in, but actually talk about shorter occurrence.
Scale
Yeah.
milestones. Okay, I think we can do something like that. I think that's good for content. All right, I don't think there's anything else we need to focus on. So I want to make sure we come back to dates on that, just as we go move to topping off and making sure that's all in line. I think that feel good for everybody for this letter?
But when did we talk about the topping off and what's your back date again?
Yep, so that's.
Yeah,
our
absolutely,
next-
sure.
Next item.
If it's not 100% done, you should do it
Even
anyway.
if the steel is not 100% done, we could do it
We're talking mid-May, we're still talking.
mid-May,
Well,
early May.
It's interesting when you take a look at the dates, so mid-May is Mother's Day weekend. So not that, I mean, we weren't doing it on a Sunday anyways, but we gotta consider. Or the first weekend in May. Maybe is a better option. I don't know how everybody feels about that. May 14th is Mother's Day. Right, so I think the 13th is that Saturday, right? Correct. And then what's the Saturday before that? The 6th. So 6th or 13th? Anybody have a preference?
5/6 or 5/13.
A little warmer.
What
but
feels
13,
better?
I'm looking at.
Are we okay with that being Mother's Day weekend? I'm fine with it.
I'd be better off on the 6th then.
You might be.
These people travel to go visit mothers
Yeah,
in Farmington.
There's also a lot of graduations going on Sundays.
Yeah, that's the college graduate. Those weekends are college graduation weekends, yeah.
What do we move it to the-
Weekends of the day.
What if we move to the 20th then? We got, most of the graduations are over by then, aren't they?
I think so. I would just want to check our, like, we don't have our problems on here and stuff like that, but there's like, There's probably some things on our master calendar we should just go through it with. just to
Determine.
make sure.
Okay. And remember, we're talking probably like a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
like a,
Yeah, right.
like at 9 o'clock, like I'm
Plenty of
thinking
time.
like 9
I
to
had on the
10.
calendar last
You
discussion.
you do have more daylight though during the week. So,
Going, but I think from a school perspective, you guys would be more comfortable with being,
Yeah, we talked about it like Saturday, probably
Yeah.
Saturday morning being the best option.
I think we're gonna get more people.
I like Saturday morning.
I do too. I think it's
Yeah.
nice,
And you won't have school in session, you won't have.
right?
That's why all the athletics after school is not as busy up here. This place is busy in the spring.
Right.
This campus until sundown.
Yeah.
So even after the lights on the field, so.
Okay,
13th or 20th, then, these are those 2 days.
I'm gonna vote for the 13th.
Yeah,
13th,
I'm traveling. So I don't know if that's, I'm not the only person out there.
So we have to
Yeah.
have,
Yeah, that's why we can't go to the final one.
so Meg, that means a newsletter has to be done by mid-April.
All right, so
You have to need all the content mid-April, because it's a 2-week cycle out.
how do we feel about, how do you guys feel about the 15th? Are you guys okay with the 15th?
The 15th.
Or excuse me, not 15th, I'm in the wrong, I'm in the wrong,
13.
13th.
13th.
I just think we'll miss people from other day. But I'm not there. My mom is in town.
It's too far away, is it?
I'm in Farmington.
I celebrate all the moms that we met.
That would just be thinking out perspective wise, my own.
Yeah, but it, you know. Either way, the 13th or the 20th.
I feel like the 20th would be
Schedule-wise,
better,
it
but
would
you have to check for the dates for prom. Although it is in the morning.
It's the, I don't see a conflict
Morning.
from a
It's in the
school
morning.
It's gonna
perspective.
be an hour.
It's just out here.
You're
I was hoping, I'm in New Orleans.
I go with you.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to like throw the whole thing off, I'm not the only person there, so.
13th it is.
Are we okay with the 13th? Do you really think, Wendy, like I just made a horrible decision?
No.
It's not like you're doing it on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
That's true. It's just the weekend.
All right. Let's plan for the 13th unless we hear something different. Maybe we'll talk, we can mention it at the next meeting as well, that's what we're planning, see if anybody has anything to say about it.
That's a good idea.
That's
Just
right.
right.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a good
good. Like,
idea.
oh gosh, no, we can't make that happen, so. All right, so 13th, then the newsletter needs to be done. You told me when.
April 15th.
Thursday, April 15th,
Yeah,
right?
that week, yeah, and, well, we need 2 weeks, you know, we should get this out, give it 10 days beforehand.
I would say at least, just
Yeah.
because it's.
Yeah, up to, because we need 2 weeks for producing and mailing it, getting it out. And then a week for, because depending where it is, it's the bulk mailing. So we'll get at least 10 days beforehand.
So we need to have it done, completely done on the 15th.
And what I need from you guys is it's where people can park the instructions. That's gonna be part of this newsletter too. So we have to tell people where they should show up.
Oh, yeah.
We
can
need,
talk a little bit
all
more about
that,
those
yeah,
details,
just so
yeah.
make sure that's of that day so they know where to go.
So we're April 15th is when it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Ira, you, everything to you by what date?
Let me look here. So I can go to my calendar. April. Yeah, if you get everything to me, no later. I hate to go to the weekend stuff, the 14th or the 17th. Nothing later, 14th ideal, 17th, that gives you the weekend. Meg, for you to take a look at it,
Of March?
of April. I need all the content and photos.
When-
But we
I thought
said
you
it's
said
gonna
the
be done by the,
Oh, no, I need to have,
oh, to you by
Yeah,
the
to you,
15th.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
then I need the 2 weeks for all the laying it out, getting approved, get it to the printer. get it distributed, the postal and postage and all that stuff.
So it would go out the last weekend,
It would go out,
last week.
May 1st. Which gives plenty of time.
For between the first and the 13th for people, okay.
They'll get it, most people get it by the 4th, that's a good 8-10 days. If we give it too far ahead, they, you know,
Okay, all right, so all content needs to be to you by April.
and then we gotta post it all around. I think what we'd end up doing, Devin, is making sure the school gets to put it on their calendar. And, you know, like we used to do when we did all the promotion stuff, man,
Okay,
get it to the media, the interest groups, you know, everybody. Because you recognize not everyone's gonna open the newsletter up, so we wanted to make sure that people, I didn't know about it, you know, kind of thing.
all right, so we're working towards the date we have now for the topping off.
So we have a month now to get all the content together, photos. I assume it's gonna be complicated, there's nothing we have to really wait for. Just let's write in, because we already know what we have to write, you know, like big surprise or Wendy, do you think of anything?
Other than the event that you started out with the students, right?
What's that?
Bringing the students to see it,
Yeah.
but that won't make it to the school.
But I think in terms of what you're gonna do the ceremony, we don't necessarily have to put that in this letter. What exactly the
We talk about the
ceremony?
band.
Is there a band?
Yeah, I have in the newsletter, but I think we should talk about it here.
Yeah.
Like,
We're just gonna stay on there, there'll be a celebration, music and
Yeah, come celebrate with us. the
bling,
topping off,
whatever.
Is the band gonna be there?
I think.
We talked about that, I already talked to Ms. Imsey, and she is working with Mr. Ventris, so our marching band is actually prepping for, you know, so that it actually would be really good timing to have something like that involved. So they were all for it, we just said, like, as we get closer, and now that we have a date, she said, once we have a date, let them know, and they'll plan something else.
Excellent. That's
So
great.
they'll set it around the state, I guess that's the other question too.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure that the dates, do we set it and we tell them?
Yes,
this is it?
yeah.
They were okay with that.
Some sort of souvenir, should we not bother with that?
I would say we're not going to. I mean, people can sign the
This
thing.
is a school.
Oh, the sign,
It's the school. It's not really.
well, one other production piece, then we should have a handout, like a little program to remember. So
Okay,
that's pretty easy. So I could take an 8.5, fold it, here's the ceremony, here's the people talking.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
a
picture
picture,
of the,
then a kind of a brief, put a photo in and.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, keep it very simple, so people, are you gonna put chairs around and all that too?
we probably need to have a few, I would think, for just in case there were people that need to sit. But I would say in general, if this is an hour kind of, or whatever we decide here.
Usually a
probably
ribbon
the time.
cutting ceremony.
You guys put a rain date in
Some
here too.
handicapped people, just a few chairs. It's mostly, you know, you're standing.
Right,
So you should think of
listening to the speaker.
AV, like if you hear people speaking.
Yeah.
Mics, speakers, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Or, you know,
Yeah.
well, first of all, do we think an hour is sufficient, too much?
no more.
Yeah, no
I think an hour, 20.
Well, I think maybe, we don't have to present for an hour, but like,
Right, usually it's like a half hour and then people.
Yeah,
fill around, and then we have time to sign the thing beforehand. Or
It'd
something.
be possible to take like some of the off the fence so that people could walk along the fence line and check out a little bit more of it.
For that
And
one.
obviously, everyone
Oh,
would
remove
be
some
able
of
to
the
go
scrim,
like.
yeah.
You could,
we have to take
you could do a section
Instead
instead of like an entire, you could do like.
And
three
two
or
ways
four
I've seen
panels
this
where
done.
they Get a good.
One, if it's really bad, you get, someone's gonna have like a camera out there and everyone sits in the auditorium. Maybe you're gonna actually have the event live, projected through video. You ever done that one? I've done that one. Where it rained the day of the topping off.
Hmm.
And so everyone sits in the auditorium, you have a camera outside,
Right, and then gets lifted up.
and then it's people in the auditorium can see the projection over.
Let's hope.
It's kind of goofy, but, or you create rain date.
I would rather create it.
Yeah.
Then move it
We're not stopping
That's the
you
whole plan.
in any way, or, I mean.
No, I just have to get the steel guy to come in on Saturday. Well, we'll handle
What if
that.
we promise like food?
That'll be one of the Saturdays.
So,
To work.
Boy, rain day should be the
we're gonna
20th.
do it Thursday. at
Yes,
3.
yes, and we'll take our chances, and then if I'm has got it.
Here to stay late.
So just put Wednesday 20th on there.
So rain date the 20th.
And then should we say it's starting at 9, so we don't put a set time on it? I just kind of let it roll,
I think so, right? Starting at 9 and then like maybe,
not putting like 9 to 10, just it starts at 9.
Just say 9, don't put 9 to 10.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So 9 and then
Shorter than what expected or a little bit longer?
it doesn't matter. That's a good idea. And then,
And a list of presenters.
and so we're doing people be there for 9. Do we do the signing? Like, is it available to sign all the way up
We'll
until
do
the point that
We'll do
we?
it, like, somebody will make an announcement, then we'll have.
Should we have some before and after?
Or-
Maybe starting the signing, I'm just thinking, just to kind of.
Well, you'll probably have some latecomers as well, so. Before
that's-
they hoist it, whoever hasn't signed it can go up and,
Where do you see putting the people who are showing up? They're not gonna let them in the site, I see.
no, we'll
So-
set up
where's the-
somewhere near the trail.
Is that gonna be in a parking lot and looking that way?
Well, actually, it won't be near actually,
Where do you see them where
Logistically, I
people
have-
go? So they can see it.
the crane will be, that point will be over by the auditorium side, so the crane will be on the parking lot side. So logistically, we'll figure out where to place the beam. And even if we have to be physically on site, we'll have an area that's cordoned off and safe. And then
So
once
it's gonna be
they get
muddy.
ready, then,
Do you want us to have people parked on the other side?
no, that parking lot.
If
is
that's
fine.
okay.
We'll figure out the logistics as we get closer, but, it works out logistically that the crane is working its way out of the project, so it'll be in that area. We'll figure out a spot to place the beam, because it's gotta be near the crane, so that they can rig it up and place it. All the work you do.
So maybe we'll have you in the cab there. Putting
Yeah.
the-
I think
There's
like,
my, putting the last piece of it.
I'm sure I'll save that.
Riveting,
I'll try.
if we still use rivets.
Hey, you're going in reverse.
All right, so
We have
then we
all
have,
this minutia stuff we're gonna deal with.
yeah, so speakers, we have obvious speakers, obviously, we're gonna have, I would think CJ, let's see, where it's Kathy. Speaker.
You,
I will say a few words.
For the students.
What do you think? What's your preference?
should the board chair say anything?
Yeah,
Okay.
CJ,
Huh?
CJ, or
Yeah,
Kathy,
CJ's the top.
or
The
maybe,
board chair.
Liz.
If you're gonna stick to the lead, elected leaders and appoint it, she's gonna, I mean, Kathy could say something. I don't know about the primary speakers and, you know, the board,
Yeah,
the
CJ.
two chairs, yeah.
As well.
You want to talk as,
Whatever the committee wants.
I'd suggest having a teacher and a student.
I can maybe introduce them.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good idea.
let's have a teacher and a student.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently did something similar to this, and there was probably 12 different people that spoke,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
and it was a lot. It was a lot.
Okay, what are we at right now?
Right now,
It's out.
Kathy, Jada, Liz,
When we were talking about advice.
Maybe a quick insurance.
teachers and students,
and then that's.
teachers and students, and I think, we're talking, it was between the.
Yeah.
You know what you do?
Maybe you'll do the whole.
We should have a freshman who's actually gonna be in the new building. It's gonna be done by then.
Yeah, Matthew.
He's not-
Yeah.
Just think about, I think it'd be good to have. Here we have someone who's in the old high school.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the new high school.
Yeah.
It's probably the first class to use the building.
Yeah.
So it becomes a symbol that this transition.
Yeah.
Just, you think that makes sense?
Yeah, well, we could,
As soon as some,
see, we could have like the class president of the freshman or
Yeah.
sophomore class will be seniors there,
well, they will,
yes.
Well, then the sophomore class,
sophomore.
whoever's the
class.
first class to be in
Yeah,
there.
that would be the sophomore class will be graduating out of there.
I think that's a
Senior
nice
year.
connection, Russ. I like that.
And then,
The
uh,
first to graduate, first class to graduate.
And you might want to pick a teacher who's born and raised here in Farmington, had kids go through school. To see this, because she's a resident, also a teacher here. I found we did one out in Wyndham, it was really emotional. I did at Rocky Hill too. You know, having someone actually live there and their kids went through school. Is there one you have, in any of the teachers?
We have alumni. I don't know that there's, I'll have to think about it. We have alumni, but I don't know, who lives in town or.
Well, I would teach here though, that's the problem. I teach here.
Or maybe a teacher who maybe wasn't raised here, but who lived here and kids went through school. That'd be fun too. Ideally, it'd be great if they were born and raised here, but if they're not. I'm always looking for these kind of stories.
Yeah.
You know, and about, so you have the first class and then you have, a teacher who's lived here and the kids went through school. Ideally, if they grew up here, but if they don't, then at least their kids went through school.
Okay.
Or they're gonna be going to the high school or they were in or whatever.
All right, then obviously we have the band as entertainment. What do we do anything on? It's outside. What are we doing? I mean, anything else? We do balloons or doing any of that kind of stuff?
The other one that usually shows up too, and I don't know if you see this, someone representing the state, we got the money. You wanna deal with that? I've seen it where they haven't had it. If you have a good, could be your senator, could deal with it, could be the governor, could be the commissioner of education, whoever it might be, it shows the state was involved in funding some of this. It's not necessary, but it's
Yeah, exactly.
politically.
Well, our representatives, and the reason why maybe it's pertinent to us because of all the effort that went into
Right.
additional.
Invite all the representatives, and you don't want them all to speak.
Well, that's the problem. Not problem. That's the.
Well, you also don't know who's gonna show or who's, so,
Right.
like, for example, Colchester, do small senior center, or the project. Their groundbreaking is, they're scheduling a groundbreaking and it's. The governor, the lieutenant governor, there's DCD money, there's like $3 million in grant funds that they got. And so they're going there's like all dignitaries, then the chair of the building committee, and then the director of the senior center. And so, then they have like their senior center choral group will sing, and then they'll have, celebratory cake or something like that. So, I try to caution them to keep it somewhat, a little more condensed, but,
Once it becomes a political event, you gotta invite the family.
Yeah.
And I've been through some Wyndham, I went out for 2.5 hours.
It's
They had
not-
30 speakers.
and if they have an opportunity to speak, they're gonna wanna speak. If they're there,
They're gonna want it.
they're
That's
gonna wanna
the thing.
speak.
I was gonna
There's
say, I have no
also
problem.
the
if
chance
they're
that
there,
no one shows up.
Have them stand up
Yeah.
and say,
But back what happens is that they're gonna be slighted if they're not invited and asked to say something. Because they look at like, well, we got money, or, they're politicians.
D'Amico, that was,
Yeah, that's who I would just maybe think.
Probably
Like,
just more of a, I was just saying, there's
in
like
here,
one or two that
legislators.
really helped, I would ask them, but.
beyond that.
Let's see if they're.
Yeah, I think between Mike and Derek, probably, they were the ones I think that would go.
Who would that be?
Mike D'Amico and Derek Slav, I believe, were the ones that were
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
involved, yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek would be great,
Right.
for sure.
Because there might be other battles down the road, you're gonna need their help. You never know.
You never know.
Minimize that because
Maybe they visit their house.
Yeah.
you don't want
But you're making them do it.
But I think if we start with those two,
And let's see what
and
we,
just,
Yeah, keep it under 10. Like 30 people talking.
It could be cool though, like to get like a banner or balloons or something, just to
that's what I'm
like,
wondering, is there anything,
people don't have to show up to.
make it stage through that.
we could put something on the fence, right?
Yeah.
Something that was.
Yeah.
You could,
Yeah, I mean, you'll have the meme, which will be pretty cool, but that's.
Not this very much.
Well, I was gonna suggest maybe we could also, if you have students that volunteer to like help with it, or if you have any students with leadership or capstone or something that could help with like timing.
I'll tell you who would show up, Lieutenant Governor, she goes all these things.
I just met her in an architecture award competition 2 months ago.
I mean, the governor I got on the side is kind of like, you know, Lieutenant Governor. that's like she's-
Okay, well, let's see. what
You
we-
just think about,
Okay,
who you want, how much to save. And you need also, you Meg or some shack as MC. Make sure it's all goes smooth.
we could. Yeah.
Get the book, yeah.
So
All right.
If you need any help planning on that, I
Okay,
can help out.
all right, that, because there's probably, you know, we can do a little bit of work on that, like, I mean, nothing, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
big
So,
around that,
that's-
but yeah, if it's kind of a student thing, it's just kind of get to the one, they do a little meeting for us, even if they maybe come to one of these
Yeah.
for a half hour, if there's some students that are interested and
That sounds great.
give them an opportunity to get engaged.
Yeah, or have some students that will help with like, the logistics or guiding people
Yeah.
or
Yes.
just being a
I
host.
just one plan, like the next,
Well, we were scheduled for April 5th, but we've been
doing
canceling our first of the month, so the one after that would be the 19th.
And maybe we just leave.
do you think that's too late? April 19th.
Yeah, that kind of gives us only
Couple
a
weeks.
couple weeks, so we should probably.
Probably do
Maybe
it.
still keep the 5th.
That's what I was thinking.
Even if the whole thing gets canceled,
Right.
Maybe
you know,
just
small group,
communication.
yeah.
Okay. I think that might make sense.
Yeah, we want to button this up.
Yeah.
By the next meeting. Now we can,
All right, I'm feeling pretty good about
Maybe
this.
share the plans, I think.
Yeah, that's a
we'll just put it, when you send your note there, Meg, say we're planning for a nice celebration. And celebrate this and you know, put it in, going to the community and then, you know, so we don't have to get into.
Yes.
Do the handout that day,
Yes,
just in
yeah.
case we have to
okay.
modify.
Oh, yeah, we won't get into it, just that, you know, starting at 9 o'clock, somehow they'll celebrate, whatever it might be.
And don't put it, if it's pouring raining, we will not have. to. Because people can misinterpret a little drizzle in the morning and won't show up.
So plan on April 5th.
Yeah, for the planning meeting,
So I
because
guess-
that's,
I guess
if
it's
you
just-
students, I would think they'd love to do that. So
April
we'll,
5th,
April 5th, yeah.
Maybe the students that you picked.
So we'll keep this same time, the 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
That'll
we can do
work.
that too.
Yes,
Cool.
like, inviting students that might be potentially the speaker.
Oh, that's a good.
And
idea.
maybe use the student council to actually help with some of that stuff. Maybe that idea.
Okay,
And that would be that person would be a part of that.
because we'll most likely cancel our building committee unless for some reason we need it based on today's meeting, but. I think
yeah,
it's all
and
right.
if you find a good teacher, it's really good at public speaking. I mean, I saw the impact of some of these teachers and it really has an impact on the crowd. Because now they're looking as a community resident, teacher and a parent, it kind of wraps the package.
Anything else that you think we need to consider? We do have some funding still in our account from,
So if you
for the project, I'm not talking about the building budget,
Right.
yes, we have a lot of money there, but not for this. So I think we're okay if we choose to get supplies or anything like that.
So we can get rooms.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can also try to get in touch with food trucks or a food truck.
We'll have to discuss that only because I brought it up to Kat and apparently there's some zoning or something around, I don't know if we've ever done that up here.
Regulation.
It might not be, but I know Kat did mention that,
Well,
That might be, yes.
yeah, it might be more
I can
difficult.
coordinate that if
If
it's a lot
it
of
were,
grass.
yeah.
Do you have like a baking sale or a club or want to do a bake sale?
Actually, that would be the school could actually,
Put a
Fundraise.
plastic table out, have a club, do a bake sale, fundraising,
actually, that's
have a
another
bunch of
idea.
parents,
Yeah,
bake a bunch of stuff and
Get
sell it
one of
out.
those big coffee pots.
do like coffee bagels.
You do a bake sale, though, that's a lot of fundraising.
Or do that.
The only, not that this should stop that, but we just don't know how many people,
right.
that's the only problem.
Shorter course.
Like, nobody's registered.
Why no one shows up?
It'll be us, there,
People will show up.
I don't.
We
know.
will.
Yeah, we'll all
We'll
be there, we'll all be but yeah.
I'll bring a crew. Have a good time.
Okay. All right, anything else right now that we can think of? Feels better, I think, right? Feels like we've plan of attack. We'll talk about the date at the next meeting.
Do we want to see if we can bring a news crew and kind of publicize it there?
I think that's something, right?
What's
News,
News
media.
crew? I have some connections.
Yeah.
Here.
And we should, you set up a, I don't know, maybe the kids at the school do a video of this.
Well, I don't know.
We
if
should,
yours-
can they do you have anyone to do, do you have cameras they want?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whole
The
news.
news, yeah.
Yeah, so do it, make it treat on your news and
Slip your whole event.
then we can have that posted as a link.
That part of it over here.
But I think local media too might be
Yeah.
helpful too.
Yeah, well, yeah,
We do
I-
press release, that
yeah,
top of
yeah,
it,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, I had down there PR, you
Okay.
know, local media. And Wendy, I'll just give you, then you, whatever your contacts, let me know, and I'll pick the other contacts up.
Right, yeah, and WFSB 3 and Fox.
Yeah.
61.
Yeah, if you have direct contact, you know, or, then you do that, because I mean, we do too, but, you know, you can do that. So,
Well, I'll work it out with, because I think you guys might have your own public school.
Yeah, I mean, we do, yeah, we have a crew that can do that. We are working with Fox 61 now too, so, I mean, so we can use that as part of it. So we'll figure it out. I'll work with the advisors to.
and that means micing people up, good microphones to capture all that stuff.
AV components, right?
AV component, waterproof.
Think so?
That's all I had down my checkbook.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and I get a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor? Aye. All right, we will adjourn at 4:50.